Welcome everyone to Barcast episode 5 in this season, the 2020 season, as we prepare for Bar Race 2020. And this morning, I've got corporate communications specialist, marketing manager of Republic Bank Barbados Limited, Miss Sophia. Also, Cambridge. Yes, I got everything in, right? Yes.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, I mean, you can hear me pulling the words from the left and the right sides of my brain there. There's no. Good morning, Sophia. How are you doing?
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much, Salt. It's great to see George again.
You also
happy to be on board for 2020.
Yeah, man. So Republic Bank back on board with BAR. I mean, y'all put the B in BAR, the bank. Right, George?
Absolutely. I mean, we're really grateful for having Republic Bank as a sponsor, especially in 2020 when many brands have been unable to make any sort of sponsorship contribution to any event. So we're really grateful for your contribution, and we look forward to being a part of this family, the Republic Bank family, for many more years going forward.
So you're right. There are a number of things that we were not able to do this year that we would have loved to do that also involve activity. Crop over did not occur, and we're major sponsors
normally have a band
there
as well.
And yes, of course, and our staff were desperately looking forward to Crop Over 2020. So that didn't happen. So our commitment to BAR obviously continues.
Yeah.
It has everything that we're looking for in terms of corporate social responsibility, the ability to be able to move your body, the camaraderie associated with not just internal teams, but community teams and community participation. And what you've been able to do to build your brand has really impressed our team at Republic. So it was absolutely a no-brainer for us to determine that, look, we're going to not just get on board once again, but enhance our contribution this year.
Absolutely. We appreciate it very much.
So we laud you also for being able to bring it to fruition, because there are a number of other activities, as I say, some of them involve sailing, rallying, etc., that we also traditionally are a part of.
Yeah.
But for one reason or another, logistically, it became almost impossible for the partners there to bring them to fruition.
Well, that's the essence of BAR. We look at things that seem impossible that we figured out. Right, George?
Exactly. And I thought it was important to try to present this event this year, even though many of our partners and sponsors aren't able to come to the table. And we want to thank them for their support in the past. I hope that things get better for them in 2021. Mm-hmm. But I felt like we needed something for our community. People were training, people were just working really hard since the lockdown, and they had no way to express their fitness.
Right.
And we were, you know what, even if we don't necessarily break even this time around, but we can still put on something on a slightly smaller scale, but with the same kind of big branding that the Barbados Adventure Race has become, to get our community out so we can spread some cheer amongst our participants. It was important to try and do it.
Yeah, because people have been working out without a real goal. Yes. I think from the time that they heard that BAR was still on, they got a lot more goal-centric. People started getting a lot more focused on. But we're seeing it all around Barbados. Fitness is becoming a big thing, healthy lifestyles, and I guess that's important for Republic Bank.
Absolutely, and the core themes for us are commitment and endurance,
right.
And those are embodied in the BAR. Absolutely. And so that's one of the reasons that this, again, was one that we said absolutely bubble to the top in terms of our commitment, financial commitment for 2020. Of course, as you mentioned, COVID brought its own peculiarities in respect of people being a lot more sedentary, our staff included. Mm-hmm. So the lockdown for us was not as long as for some other entities, because banking was considered one of the essential services. So our teams were out early. Right. But it didn't mean that that their lives returned to normal. Like everyone else, they were precluded from exercising externally, outdoors. They were not allowed to go to the gym. And their lives then became just, moving from their home environment to the work environment.
Right.
So like everybody else, we felt, oh my goodness, we cannot wait for another opportunity to be able to return to holistic, healthy living, which includes exercise. So we were involved with the COVID Curves Challenge more recently.
Tell me about that.
Yes, COVID Curves was an ingenious activity that was presented to us by George and his team.
Okay.
Over a 6-week period, staff members as well as the wider public were encouraged to join the gym at a preferential rate, be associated with a trainer, and articulate their goals. So in most cases, obviously, even me, and so I noticed a little bit of extra weight on you over the period.
Yeah.
It seems to have melted away because you are a fitness guru
bar
yourself.
training.
Under the tutelage of the great George here.
Yeah.
But many of us, packed on a few extra pounds during the period.
Yourself included?
Me included.
Whoa,
You know,
yeah.
I'm normally around kind of 118, and I went to 128, which I was quite happy about. But so my goals for the bar were slightly different. I needed to gain muscle.
Right.
But when it comes to gym training, I was a bit of a newbie, as were many others, both Republic Bank staff and persons that we polled within the community. So we wanted to sign on because we knew that this was going to be an opportunity for folks to learn more about their physicality and to be incentivized in a nurturing environment. So COVID Curves Challenge came about, and we obviously wanted to partner with that on that particular project. Teams were comprised of about 5 persons per a personal trainer who helped you to reach your goals. As I say, for some people it was muscle building, for others it was melting off those pounds, but for everyone it was let us learn more about where we need to be on the continuum toward exercise and healthy living. And for us it was a complete winner. I think in total, 165 I think was the total number of pounds lost for those who had that as their
That's
challenge.
what me and you put together.
Yes. But on the individual level, everybody learned more about what they need to do to get to the next level. It was holistic in terms of being able to educate you about healthy eating, sleep, reduction in stress, and so on. So again, Surfside just brought it, as my younger ones would say. They really enhanced your education of how to better your physical, mental, and holistic aspects.
You learn about yourself
of
and
your
about
life.
yourself.
And I want to say a big thank you to Georgina Naigaga, who's my program director. This was her idea, this initiative.
COVID Curves.
COVID Curves. And my team delivered. And I really, I come out as a person at the front, but obviously I have a very strong team behind me, and we couldn't be able to do it without them, for sure.
Yeah. So you told me that people would have been intimidated with the gym setting and probably by the equipment and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Were you intimidated?
For me, it was new. You kind of when you're on the outside and you're ignorant of what goes on in a gym setting, you kind of imagine that everybody's decked out in gear, and that people are grunting and dropping weights, and you're kind of thinking, well, how am I going to fit in to this environment? But I have to say it was the opposite of that. Again, nurturing is the term that comes to mind. Surfside is an exceedingly social atmosphere, which allows you to go at your own pace. Mm-hmm. So for someone like me and many others who are new to this experience, we kind of chose to go into the classes, which kind of is kind of an orientation in and of itself as to how best you can maximize your experience at the gym. So you learn, yes, about your core abilities, but you also learn what are the kinds of things that would assist me in reaching my goal. So yes, I have to say an exceedingly positive experience for all of those who were involved. We got great, of course, I have to put on my marketing and comms hat now. Uh-huh. We got great mileage from a PR perspective.
Dope. Nice.
And it was exceedingly refreshing that a wide cross-section of people joined the challenge. Some people who were existing members of Surfside and other gyms, and others who really, like myself, were new to the experience. So the Barbados Adventure Race is just another step in that journey. We have been involved in 2019. Mm-hmm. And again, we were trying at that point from a corporate perspective to try to feel the team ourselves. Again, I'm trying to explain to you that in Republic Bank, obviously, we are a microcosm of the entire society. So we have Gym Bs and people who are regulars at Republic Bank, and then we at Surfside, and then we have folks who are a little more, they may be more outdoorsy. So we weren't able to field a team in 2019, but we, coming out of COVID, have started to get more interest in the possibility of having a corporate team for 2020.
Interest in the possibility. I don't like those words. I think we definitely have a possibility.
Yes. Some folks are training already, but over and above our individual involvement is the approach that we want to take in terms of supporting this activity for this year and going forward.
When you're describing the COVID curves now, it reminds me directly of the Barbados Adventure Race team, where you mentioned you're a little bit intimidated at first. There are some people who see Barbados Adventure Race, they're a little intimidated. But then once you get into it, you realize that it's everybody at their own pace. As you said, go into the classes, which is what we're doing on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays.
Right. Yes. And now we've added a class on Saturdays as well, because we recognize that there's certain employers that might not let you out the office in time. So during the week, right? So if you work at Republic Bank and you can't get out before 4:30, you might not be able to make those sessions during the week. So we've added a weekend session on Saturdays at Peg Farms and Nature Reserve, and that's at 4 p.m. And it gives maybe some of the Republic staff and some of the other companies out there who are thinking about fielding a team for the corporate challenge. It gives them an opportunity to come out and try the course, meet some people, be part of the camaraderie, because that's the thing we hear over and over and over again. We don't come out for the obstacles, the walls and the carries and the buckets and all those things that are super hard. We come out for the camaraderie, meeting the new people, becoming part of the tribe, as we call it, and just enjoying the experience of being a barbarian, for sure. Yeah,
and as I was telling you, so if you're the same way, you would have been a little bit tentative about the gym. You can't really do this bar thing. I mean, we've got beginners classes, and I welcome you to. I would even go as far as to pay for your first 2 weeks.
You heard it here, people.
We do the rigs, and we also do a little bit of running and some carries and stuff like that. And then we also have the block 2, which we call it. Don't call it advanced and beginners anymore. And so definitely everyone is welcome to open an account at Republic Bank, and B, join the bar race.
Absolutely. What is it about it that exhilarates you so much, though, Salt?
I think that it has been my advancement, my progress from the first, what was it called, hike ward, is what it was called at that time. Yeah, from that there to, so I remember the first time I would have seen the Green Monster, which is a really big hill in St. John, and we had to carry sandbags up, and we had to figure it out. And to know that I running up Green Hill, right? So seeing that progress and development, and then it's just the community, the camaraderie, everybody encouraging itself, and it's for once I hanging out with good company, including George. Right? So it's a lot of like-minded individuals, goal-oriented individuals who are focused on a singular goal, but they're all. It's not a case of because I want to get there, I'm gonna trip you up. I'm gonna help you get there. We're all gonna get there together. So that's what really endears me to bar.
It's one of the few events where you see competitors encouraging and helping each other. It's very unique, and it's obstacle course racing. I think that because it can be challenging mentally and physically, people tend not to be as cutthroat about the competitive style part of it, and more about we're up all of us against the course. So I'm going to encourage you. It's still healthy competition, but it's not as cutthroat as maybe a 10K or a 5K or some other activity.
An example would be there's a 10-foot wall, and I've seen teams help other teams get up the wall. Like you have a man on the top, and he'll be like, you know what? 2 of us are gonna pull up this guy. Even though she's not on my team, I'm gonna help you pull her up. So that's how it goes, because everybody knows we all tired. We all trying to beat this course. We trying to make George know his course and want none of me.
Again, the commitment and the endurance, which I think were the kind of key watchwords when we wanted to become involved. And the other thing that really attracted us to this particular event is the fact that some of the activities, the entire team has to be present before you even start. So it means that, authentically, you are going to make sure that your brother also succeeds. And that for me is very, very telling. And it's different from running a marathon, or as you pointed out, where yes, you may know others and you may be gently encouraging them, but no, it is in your best interest to make sure that everybody at least finishes. Everybody has a measure of success.
And nobody wants to see you fail, and that's what anybody listening right now that's thinking about doing bar needs to understand. Nobody, not a competitor, not a coach, not an organizer, wants to see you not finish. Everybody wants to see you finish.
When I first came up with BAR, bar. Obviously, we've grown the event from event to event and from year to year. But it was always my feeling that the corporate challenge would become the biggest event in bar.
Right.
Because I think that's the goals of the corporate challenge are really to bring people together, teach them about teamwork, teach them about camaraderie, helping to build those bonds so that I can take it back to the office. So you learn something about each other, so you know how your colleague is going to react in particular situations. It helps you to anticipate some of the challenges that you might face in the office and know who to go to. So I know if something is going to be, physically demanding, maybe I go to Sophia. If something's going to need like puzzle and strategy, I might go to Stefan and so on and so forth. So I think bringing persons together from a corporate environment and putting together in something that's challenging, where they have to work together as a team to overcome these obstacles, that was always my kind of broader view for the event. So I think, maybe we'll be a little bit challenged this year because of COVID, but I think long term, we're going to see the elites running the competitive wave in the ICBL challenge. But I think we're going to see more and more teams, individuals, organizations coming out and being part of the Republic Bank Corporate Challenge. And that, I think, is where the real growth of Barbados Adventure Race is going to come.
I genuinely believe that, and I feel like it's a tool that HR, human resources managers, can use as well. You've got put your supervisors and the junior staff together. Let us see how them is work out. Two people that you find always got an issue because you know what's going to happen, they're going to work it out on the course because they have one single goal in mind.
Yes.
So you can take that back to HR.
I will indeed. And the important thing
we're not going to charge you for that.
Thank you. That you can go at your own pace. And that for us is also critical, that everyone, regardless of physical ability, has an opportunity to at least make an attempt.
Right.
So that for us is also key. But we're also keen to understand where you want the event to go from here, because I think you've been able to establish a tremendous amount of success thus far.
Right.
So as you envisage the future, what next?
We had started to a little bit to build a overseas participation in this event. My ultimate goal is that the Barbados Adventure Race is the marquee obstacle racing event throughout the Caribbean. We'd already gained ratification by World OCR and from OCR World Championships, where you can qualify for those events. And we want this to be the event that we've now rebranded it somewhat. It's the most breathtaking, the world's most breathtaking obstacle course race. Yes. And that has a little double entendre because obviously Barbados is one of the most beautiful destinations. So from a sports tourism perspective, you come to do an obstacle race in Barbados and you're running on the cliff at Peg and you have that vista of the East Coast. It is incredible. And if you're not competitive, for these people who are in Barbados thinking about doing the race, if you're not looking to get on the podium, just stop every now and then and look around you and be blown away by Jones River Forest, be blown away by the East Coast and Soup Bowl. So that's kind of our greater vision, that in 3 to 5 years' time, we will be the premier obstacle course race in the Caribbean and maybe even further afield, because we have all the elements. We have the environment, we have great obstacles, we already have a community that is really inclusive and encompassing any new people who come into the event. We want new people to come and suffer with us, right, and be a part of this incredible tribe, as we now call them. So we think that hopefully with the support of Republic Bank and ICBL and the Amarone Trust and Fund, that we can continue to grow and become that type of event.
Well, that's news to us, because I didn't realize that the actual physical vista was such a key component, but it is a benefit.
It is, absolutely, yeah.
I think that Peg Farm is an awesome location, probably one of the best locations that you can have in the world. Correct. I mean, and it lends to the lifestyle, as you had mentioned, because you have the free-range animals there as well, along with you. So you're running sometimes we up there training, you're running on a cow, we're running alongside of you. Understand? So you have your chickens around the place, the pigs, and then the campsite. It's going to the gully and coming out. It's so beautiful. It's, as you said, breathtaking in more than one way.
Correct, yeah. So hopefully, obviously 2020, we decided that we're not even going to accept overseas registration.
Okay.
And we've done a lot of it. It's funny because we've done so much groundwork in the initial part of the year promoting the event overseas. So I went up to Miami in the early part of the year. We had a booth at the Miami Marathon Expo.
Right.
And we had a booth there which got a lot of participation. We had a little mini obstacle course set up. And we managed to make contact with a lot of the major obstacle course gyms in the southern United States. And we received quite a strong commitment from quite a few of them to come down to Barbados and race in November, actually.
They would have loved that.
Many of them had said that June was too early because it was the Spartan World Championships, but they were committing to November. But we've made a decision, obviously, from a safety perspective, that we're just not accepting overseas entries in November. So our plan is to get really good content, to build our local base, get really good content for this event, and then use it as a promotional vehicle going forward to bring some overseas participants next year, hopefully with a vaccine and some other things around COVID to make things a little safer for everybody so that we can grow this event internationally.
And after all, a lot of the obstacle course races, when in November time now, will be competing in very cold conditions.
Yes.
So I know a lot of them would like to fly south for the winter just to get involved. And it's more push for RB.
Yes. I know that you mentioned that, obviously overseas participation, but also family, bringing people along.
Yeah.
That was one of the other things that really attracted us, because quite apart from the obstacle race and the participants and the challenge itself, there's the support network that comes along with each individual participant and the ancillary things that go on. So I see people spreading out picnic baskets, I see barbecues, and it's a full-scale family event.
Yeah.
So participants are taking part, and their toddlers running around, people cheering everyone on. I mean, it is completely wholesome.
Yes. And one of the things we're a little bit disappointed in, and it's maybe not too late, but this was going to be the month for the introduction of the mini bar.
Right.
So in June, we had just the adults competing, but every time we looked around, there were a bunch of kids on the course, right? And we're like, listen, let's do something for the kids. So we had a commitment from a sponsor who was going to take care of the kids event, which we call the mini bar.
Right.
It's just another pun. You're so punny with these names, man.
I'm telling you, maybe I should be in marketing.
I think so. I definitely think you have some
The
skills.
mini bar
George.
is a great name. Yeah.
And we were really pitching it at two different age groups. We had the 4 to 8s, and we were going to let the parents run along with the kids.
Yeah.
And we had the 8 to 15s, where we were going to break into 2 age groups that would run more or less the 3K course.
Right.
So we had a real big push towards the youth, working with the Dance for Life. And Dance for Life, if you're not familiar, Dance for Life is a charity that works with at-risk youth in the schools and the government industrial school and Dodge and so on. And their mandate it actually started out as sexual health.
Right.
And as they're in there, many times the kids feel more comfortable talking to them than talking to teachers. So now it's expanded to all at-risk youth. So we're going to have a youth challenge through them. But unfortunately, this November we don't really have the resources to put on that event as well. Right. But still, we want the kids to come out. We want the families to come out, make a day of it, make a weekend of it. Come and support your family in the corporate challenge. Come and support your friends in the individual event, and make a day of it. We've had a meeting with the COVID czar.
Not the czar, heading management unit.
The COVID monitor unit, Mr. Ronald Butcher.
Chapman, yeah.
Dealing with people from the media here, George.
I'm thinking about cricket now. Sorry, Mr. Chapman. And we went through everything with him. He's very detailed in what he wants to happen, and we're able to come up with a plan that I think is going to make the bar seem just like bars in previous years, but make it safer as well for everyone. Yeah. So just some minor tweaks for the athletes, and we'll go through all of those tweaks as people register for the event. Yeah. But we're comfortable and confident that we have an event that will be safe and will still be fun for the whole family to enjoy.
No, we applaud you on that. And again, that was one of the considerations, even with some of our other partnerships with Surfside Wellness Center. But as you know, anyone who's walked into Surfside knows that safety is a top priority, has always been, but in this COVID period, even more so. So there are no challenges with us understanding that you will have the requisite policies in place in relation to the outdoor activity. It will very likely mirror what occurs indoors.
I knew Surfside was committed to the safety when they got to the door, and they had a wait keeping the door open so I wouldn't have to touch the door. It was like, for going to AC today. Okay.
And you know, it's not just us. Many businesses have had to make adjustments. It's a new way of doing business. And for some of us, it means there's an additional cost, but we think that the overall benefit of bringing people into our facility and having them improve their lifestyles, we think it's worth doing. A lot of businesses have just chosen not to continue in the same way, but we would like to maintain. During the lockdown, for example, we had a decision to make, whether we shift to a pure online platform that was going to be fee-based. And everyone was like, yes, do that. I was like, you know what? People out there are struggling right now. There was many people who had mental health issues because of the jarring nature of the sudden lockdown. And I was like, let us give some content to these people. let us keep them engaged. Let's see if we can do something to take away some of their stress before we go towards...
And add some strength.
Before we go towards asking for money.
Yeah.
You know, it took us a little while to get to that fee-based platform, but we felt like in reaching out to the community and offering them a service that was supportive for them was the thing that we wanted to do for our brand.
Makes sense. At the points that when people are the most desperate, they're going to remember who was there for them. Republic Bank, for sure. There for you. And Surfside is there for you. So, Sophia, what would stop you from doing bar? What was your apprehension?
So I tried, no, you're talking about me personally.
You personally, I want to know what's stopping you from getting a team.
I'm a bit of a newbie, I really feel, I must tell you, and all jokes aside, I feel completely empowered. 2020 has had its knocks for all of us.
Yeah.
But this new aspect of my life where I've become a little more physical and a lot more knowledgeable about exercise and the importance of having a holistic, healthy lifestyle has propelled me forth. Yeah. I looked at the bar last year as a spectator in awe of the strength of some of the folks who would have participated. Yeah. Never in my wildest dreams would I have anticipated that I could contemplate taking part this year. But I do feel more empowered, and I do feel as if it's something that is within my grasp. I'm not at your level.
But that's why we have you open with.
Correct. The open and the corporate,
Yeah, but definitely what attracts me is the fact that there's so many different tiers for people of different abilities. So there's nothing that would stop me at this point. I would be keen on joining with my colleagues across the bank.
Stefan, that's at 28 minutes. We're going to get this commitment at 28 minutes.
So we're going to put on the podcast notes, go straight to the 28.
No, I'd be happy to join my teammates at Republic to take part in the 2020
We're really
challenge.
looking forward to y'all having a team on the line. The reason I was asking that is because obviously bar is a number of components. So the carries, the obstacles, and the running most of all. And as we said before, George would have classes. We have classes now for the carries and obstacles. We have classes that are more dedicated to the trail running. But he's just started something yesterday that I found was very interesting and very, very valuable. I think you should mention that. Plug a little bit here.
Yeah. We started this running clinic with Ralph Luther from Mountain Goats, Run Barbados 246. It's Run 246.
Run 246.
Run 246. And what he did, bar is different because you're not just running on a flat road pavement. You're running in the outdoors, in the countryside, on hills, and so on. And he came out and he gave us some tips and some strategies on how to approach outdoor running. With Republic Bank as a sponsor, I think right now I'd like to extend an invitation for you to get a group of your team together, and we'll put on some training for them. Definitely over the last 2, if not 4 weeks, we can put together some Republic Bank bar training sessions, which would include the running clinic, will include some of the outdoor stuff, and include the rig for the obstacles. So now, Sophia, there's absolutely no excuse at all why you, not just the team, but why you will not be able to take part in right. Yeah. So you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Sophia Alsop Cambridge, barbarian extraordinaire.
Well, we're not extraordinary. Let's take the baby steps. But I will say, kudos to the Surfside team for always making sure that even the least among the apostles, like me, is accommodated. And I think that really is what sets you apart from other entities of your size and scope, because it really focuses on making sure that everybody is given an opportunity. So if I can do it, folks, you can do it.
I believe that you can do it. Your journey has begun, your fitness journey, and I think that you're going to continue. Definitely, this is not no gaff, no sport, nothing. This is me telling you directly that I can hear it in your voice. I've seen you in the gym a couple of times, so I know that you'll be making those advances. And I think that that's the next step in the progression.
Thanks for the encouragement.
So is there anything that you didn't get in regarding Republic Bank that you need to get in though?
No. Let me just check this little note here. I got some notes.
He's a corporate communication specialist. That's what.
No, there's nothing. I don't. As I say, I'm really not big on hard sell.
This
is not the time.
Right.
I'm more keen on ensuring that any entity that we partner with is given its scope and its due and our commitment, so that the partnership kind of bears some fruit.
Yeah,
does that make sense?
It definitely makes sense. So, ready? Even though that was really good there just now, Sophia, the B-roll is going to be excellent for this podcast. I want to take this opportunity to thank Sophia Alsop Cambridge, marketing manager, a corporate communications specialist at Republic Bank Barbados Limited. Got it all in. Yeah. But no, yeah, it's a mouthful. But I thank you so much for coming on to the Barcast this week, letting us know all about what it means to the Republic Bank to come on board with BAR.
Thank you so much, guys, and thank you for always inspiring us to do more and be more. I think the BAR experience is just another adjunct to that. And as I say,
You hear that word? Adjunct.
As I say, you can count on Team Republic to be your continued partner.
Thank you very much. And for all the listeners, if you want more information on the Barbados Adventure Race, you can follow our social pages. On Instagram, we're at BAR_race, BAR_race. We're on Facebook at Barbados Adventure Race. And if you're looking to join a team, remember there's a Barbados Adventure Race Team Finder page on Facebook. BarbadosAdventureRace.com to register for the Republic Bank Corporate Challenge, as well as our other events. And don't forget, this year we're racing for a cause. We haven't spoken about that much in this episode, but you can go online and can get that information. We're trying to raise money for some charities this year. We know Republic Bank has always supported us in some of our charitable drives, but you, as part of the wider community, can go online and look at our Race for a Cause, sponsored by the Amarone Trust and Fund, where we can help to assist some persons who have been affected, particularly by COVID this year.
And if you're listening to this, registration is open, registration is live. Correct. So go and register for your team or yourself individually for the Barbados Adventure Race 2020, guys. I think that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Thank you for coming, Sophia.
Thank you. A pleasure. This has been tremendously enjoyable. Thanks.
Yes, man. All right, guys.
See you at the bar.
See you at the bar. Meet you